Yo, what's up guys? Tom for 2 here, Chessman on Lost Ark. Today I just wanted to do a quick video on Thaemine gates 1 through 3, the Sidereal usages. Reason why is because there's a lot of new returning players here. Up to probably this point, you've played Volus, Triangle, Khan, all those raids solo, or you might have done it in a party, but most likely you've probably done a lot of solo raids, and I think it'd be a good chance for me to kind of just go over the sidereal usages, the scenarios you use them in, what kind of suggestions I could give. So this is kind of more of like a guide, just for new returning players. And if you're a veteran who just doesn't know how to use sides, um, this is your chance to learn the Thaemine ones. So I'll go through each gate, explain them, what I do personally, some of the personal habits that I have, and hopefully when you get past the lead, or if you need to make up a party yourself, you don't get too intimidated by just having to use a side. So let's dive into it. As I mentioned, I just pulled up a recent VOD. I think this was like a deathless VOD that I have of Thaemine hard mode, gates 1 through 3. So let's just kind of dive in, and usually I'm the raid lead for like the people I play with. So usually I'm in command of knowing when to use the side reels. So gate 1, the first gimmick, I guess, you're gonna fight the boss for a bit, and then as soon as you kind of get to this part, so around 144 bars, um, she's gonna be in the state where you get to have to land the two counters. You have to put them in the same exact meteor spots. So if we pause right here, there's like these three meteor spots around the corners. If you hit a counter, then your teammates need to like put them in those spots. Um, so if you notice, I have the mark here. I'm deciding to put the meteor spot here. So you just need two of those. She's gonna jump up. She's gonna hit the spot. So generally you want two of those to avoid using the side. And this is kind of the very first scenario specific like usage of the side reel. Because if you do get both marks, so let's just say two people do hit the counters, and then you do put it on the exact same meteor spot, the boss is actually going to fly up in the air. Or if you miss, so in this case, in this video, we only got one of the counters, um, and we missed the second one. So instead, I had to use a secret ball Thor, which knocks the boss in the air. And if I replay it, um, it's just the ball of the vaulter does it knocks her in the air and she prevents the wipe. So that's why you want to hold the side reel usage up until this point. You want to use it in any other spot point. So if you know she's sitting in the ground and you want her knocked up in the air, so you just summon Control C or Balthor just to knock her up. You do not have to use Balthor if you do hit both counters. So she will go up automatically and you can save the Balthor. You could use way after. So after this mech, as soon as she lands, now would be a good time to just use Away or Thyrene if you're confident hitting your side reel skills. But unfortunately for our party, we had to use the secret Balthor just to pass that mech, so I don't get to use the another one of the sides. So that's the very first side real use point. The second one um, kind of comes as you fill up the meter. Um, and so in hard mode, when you hit like around 55 bars, you're gonna go mech into the raspberry mech. So if you don't know, in this part, you want to avoid throwing your destruction bombs on the raspberries and probably the destruction bomb looking spikes. You just want to get as many lines as you can sucked in, and then you stagger her. In the case that you do not get enough lines hit with your destruction bombs, um, you might need to use Way for the extra stagger just to stagger the boss. So here, luckily, our party, I think we have pretty good stagger. So here I'm just gauging if we need to actually use Way, but luckily our party's got good stagger. We have a Gun Lancer over there, we have a Slayer, so I don't end up having to use Way. But in some instances, if too many people get stunned by the blue telegraphs, if you guys hit, um, you know, there's not enough lines getting sucked in, then you might have to use Control X for Way just to pass this mech. The last part of Gate 1, if we fast forward, so that's the second usage. The third usage in Gate 1 is Balthor again. When you get down to about 37 bars of HP, right now it's at 43, you want to use Balthor, and you want to ping it just to make sure that all your teammates get in. Reason why is because the mech is gonna proc like a safe spot, and usually people, I don't know, I typically don't play this mech like properly as intended. I just wait till 37 bars, you proc Balthor, everyone gets in, you guys are gonna get a push immunity, and you guys are gonna get a giant shield. If you notice, all the eyes are gonna look at some point. Um, and then she's gonna do a safe spot mech. So there was the safe spot mech. The Balthor just helps prevent you from dying. You get the big shield, and you just go and DPS her pretty much instead. You want to be able to break her shield of her health. So yeah, 37 bars. Just use Balthor. It's the easiest way. Use Balthor, and make sure you have the side up by the time you hit 37 bars. Some people just DPS way too fast, and you might not have Balthor up. So you're going to actually have to get into that safe spot. You see how fast that safe spot goes? The eyes are all going to shift, and then you got to like hustle your butt over to that safe spot before, it wipes everybody. So, um, yeah, that's entirely gate one. Just make sure Balthor is probably 2 times usage. You might be able to use Wei. There's very situational, and I hope that I explained a little bit of the situations pretty well. In gate two, so you're gonna fight the boss a little bit in the beginning. You're gonna wait till the meter fills up. You're gonna go through the running phase, and hit the counters and everything. So when you hit this island part, right, you're gonna walk, and then you're gonna have to fight the boss in kind of this mini area. Um, there's gonna be a moment where the boss does a specific pattern, and that's when you use Control X. So that's it right there. Um, which is the Azena. So if the secret Azena in this part just allows, it freezes the boss essentially, and then your entire party just gets the free DPS. So he's gonna put his 2 wings together like this, and then he's going to expand his wings. So you want to generally be standing behind him, which is what I typically do. Usually as a DPS or support, because I'm using the side, I always make sure I want to land this. I never really greed any more DPS or greed anything else. I want to make sure I get this off. So as soon as the wings kind of go outward, you just proc Control X or Zena, and then now everyone else is just going to, pop Atros or do whatever and start DPSing as much as they can to bring the boss down to as many bars as they can. So that's the first usage of Sidereal in Gate 2. Um, the second one is pretty simple. After you get into kind of the second phase, you're going to DPS the boss pretty much down to like, let's see. Yeah, you're going to DPS the boss down to like 24 HP. You're going to have to play, fight the mobs. You're going to face 2 waves of mobs for a bit. And then the part where you actually want to use Thaemine is after you kill the two waves of mobs, you're gonna have 2 dragons spawn on either side. Personally, I like to go on the side, the one that's counterable, and I always walk around. So I do like a kind of a C shape semicircle over to the one that's counterable. So obviously the left one is counterable. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go down, and I'm going to go right and just go back to the positioning of where the previous spot was for that dragon, and then you just use Thyrene. And you want to make sure that you aim the Thyrene with your cursor so that it hits both dragons. And that's the key. You want to hit both dragons because it's like a DPS check. So here, I'm just making sure that I line up the 2 dragons. One's in the middle, one's on the very right still, and then now we're just DPSing it as best we can so we can get to the next part. And then that's the only 2 usages of the Sidereal in Gate 2. Gate 3, it's pretty simple. Gate 3, you only get to use each side once. You might end up using all 3. Most conventionally, if the DPS is good, you're only going to be able to use 1. But let's just go right into it. So the first side that you're gonna want to use is the Azena, or sorry, not Azena, Inanna. So Control C. This happens during the first clash phase. So we're gonna DPS it down. We're gonna get it passed down. You're gonna play through the fight. You're just gonna save the Sidereal usage all the way up until we get to the first clash. So the first clash happens here. Sword spawns. He's going to be gallop on this horse. I assume most of you guys probably watched like a mech video or something. So the first clash happens. you're gonna DPS first. You're not gonna touch the side or anything. You're just gonna, if you're DPS or support, you're just gonna keep on buffing or attacking the boss here. You're just gonna let the first person who got their clash do their thing, get the clash. This time that you actually use Control C or Inanna is when the boss teleports. He disappears, and then you're just gonna proc Control C right in the middle here. And this just gives another window for your allies to DPS. Reason why you use Inanna here is because there's gonna be a lot of red telegraphs, and if you don't use Inanna there, all your allies won't be able to freely DPS. They're gonna get knocked up and stuff. So it's really important that you use Inanna specifically at this part. Luckily, we didn't have to play the second clash, and we had enough DPS, so this phase went really, really fast. The second usage of the Sidereal is most likely going to be your Nineveh. And this is kind of personal preference. Uh, I will show you how I do it because I think it's the most optimal strategy. So right now we have a full arena, right? Thaemine hasn't broken the arena yet in a half. There's going to be a point in time when someone is going to have to get the clash, right? So here, let's see. I don't know if he's broken it yet. So here, someone would have gotten the third clash. I think probably skipped a little too far. So here the arena's still full. Someone's gonna have to grab the clash here, right? You don't use Inanna up, or I mean Nineveh yet. You still don't have full enough meter to use it. But this clash is just important to greed, and make sure someone does get the clash. It's situational because if someone actually does fail the clash, the arena is gonna get cut in half. But you only really use Nineveh when the arena gets cut in half, and then Thaemine tries to cut that arena in a half again. So here he tries to cut it in half. That's fine. You play it safe. So I just want to show you now. We're at a point now where the arena is cut in half. All the red patterns that are gonna one-shot you are now all like normalized. It's not like enhanced anymore. So we're gonna keep going, and eventually he's gonna teleport, and he's gonna try to break this half arena into a quarter, right? So he's going to cut it in a half again, and that's when you want to use the Secret Nineveh. And the Secret Nineveh is essentially just replacing the Clash. Um, so one of your people or party members does not have to take the Clash. The Nineveh will just do it for you guys. So here he teleported. Now he's about to cut this arena, the half arena, into half again, so that there's only a quarter left. That's when you want to use Control Z, which is Nineveh. And then here it just allows you to, for everyone who's alive still, to greed DPS pretty much and get it down to the basement. So here, a lot of people, now that Hyper Awakening is available in Tier 4, everyone's just Hyper Awakening trying to juice this thing down. So we get down to like 55 bars, which means our DPS is really good. Um, so yeah, that's the second instance of using the Sidereal. Reason why it's situational is because some people, if the DPS isn't very good, you might want to play that clash. But usually I just use the Nineveh there because it's essentially replacing one person from doing the clash, and you might as well use it, give damage, everyone else can greed. So that's why I would use it there. The last usage, I don't think we actually use it in this video, but the last usage is Way. What's going to happen is someone's going to have to play the last clash, the very last clash at the very end, and what you're going to want to do is use Way when the ghosts start showing up. So a bunch of ghosts are going to spawn in hard mode, um, and they're going to try to grab people. What you want to do is you want to use Way to just kill the ghosts. And it's a bonus if you hit Thaemine, but the main purpose is mostly just to kill off the ghosts and prevent people from dying. So, yeah, we're definitely not going to be able to have enough meter to use Way here. But here's what's going to happen. The last clash is going to happen. So here, believe that I grabbed the last clash. So while I'm doing the clash, everyone else is probably DPSing, right? We're trying to juice the boss down to 0 bars. Um, I still am the leader, so no one can use, the side. And I don't even know if the ghosts have shown up yet. But you will see when the ghosts show up, and that's when you want to use Way. So we're just doing normal or enhanced patterns down here. And so these yellow telegraphs show up. that's when the ghosts start showing up. This is the exact moment when you want to use Wei. If you're lead, you want to use Wei right on the round the boss where your allies are standing because Wei is going to kill off the ghosts and prevent everyone from getting grabbed. So if you can see, some person got grabbed, but we didn't have Wei up, so we're just trying to like giga juice the boss down to 0. But typically, if the DPS is, more or less a little bit slower than what I have here, um, you do use Wei there. So wanted to keep this video kind of short, but again, wanted to do a little bit of like VOD review and explain like the circumstances that you would use some of these side reels, the exact moment you use them, and give you a little bit of perspective on like how I see the situation, and hopefully that helps you guys. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, just did a quick VOD review. Um, explained all 3 gates for Thaemine, just the same way I did the first 2 gates of Echidna. And let me know if you guys like this sort of content because I know like some people are intimidated by using the sides, and I know a lot of guides they show a lot of stuff, but this is just specifically for side reel usages, the explanations for why you use it at certain points, and um, what I see, and how you kind of see the situations on why you use some of those side skills. So hopefully you guys enjoyed again. Subscribe and like, all that good stuff. If you guys like this sort of content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.